Hey guys, for this map all your reactors and pipes come pre-made, so just double click on the top reactor, then you start off with the blue line which goes left to an A, up to a grab, right to a negative bond, right and down to circle it out, down to a drop, left to circle it out, left to your flip-flop which is facing left and up to a negative bond, up to a fork out, left, back into start. For this flip-flop it goes left to another flip-flop which is facing down and then you go up and back into start. For this flip-flop you go down to an NB, left to a negative bond, left to a grab, down to a counterclockwise rotation, right and up, back to your positive bond and another positive bond, and you got your 4 bonders, then right to a negative bond, then right to circle it out. And then you go right to your flip-flop, which is facing up and back left. For this flip-flop you just go up to a drop, left to a fork out, and then left back into start. For your red line, you go left, and then left to an NA, up to a flip-flop which is facing right, left to your grab and then back right. For this flip-flop you go right and down to drop, left to flip-flop which is facing left. Then you go up to back into start for this flip-flop. For this flip-flop you go left and up and back into NA. For this flip-flop you go left to a flip-flop which is facing up, and then you keep going to drop, and then to this flip-flop which is facing right, and then you go up to an NA, left to a flip-flop facing down and up to your grab and then down. For this flip-flop you go to another flip-flop which is facing down, and then down and right to a flip-flop facing right. So you go up to go right, to drop, up and left, to back to NA. It's quite confusing with all the flip-flops, but I mean, you just place it in this way and it should work. For this flip-flop you go up to NA and then it goes back around. Okay, for your bottom reactor, you got the blue line going left to NB, then left to grab, and up to a flip-flop facing left, and right to a fork out, then right to a flip-flop facing left, and up to a counterclockwise rotation, up to drop, and then down. For this flip-flop it just goes left to this one which goes right. For this flip-flop you go left to a sink, then up to an NA, then up to a flip-flop facing right, then up to a grab which goes down. For this flip-flop you go right to a sink, then right to a positive bond, and you got 4 bonders, up to drop, left to a positive bond, and you got your fusion laser target, left to an NA, left to grab, down and right to a sink, then right to a positive bond, then down to clockwise rotation, right and down to drop, left to circle out and back into start. For the red line, you go down to a arrow, or the flip-flop facing down, and then up and left NA, up to grab, right to fuse, or your fusion reactor, down to a flip-flop facing right and back into start. For this flip-flop, you go right to a flip-flop facing up, and then you go left back to start. For this one, you go up to grab, right to a flip-flop facing right, then down to drop, left to positive bond, left to flip-flop facing down and back into start. For this flip-flop, you go left to a sink, right to a sink, down to a drop, left to drop, and back around to start. For this flip-flop, you go down to a sink, then down to a negative bond, then left and up to a sink, up to a negative bond, up to an NA, up to a grab, and then all the way around. So I'll show you how this one works. If you have any issues making or having collisions or anything, try rearranging your bonders. Sometimes the priorities get mixed up on them. For your top reactor, it's basically just doing this. Just like that.